Hello, Ender Sword here again, this time with Game 5 of the exioN versus SCA Clan War. We are now at a score of 2 versus 2, with Quonzar just winning the last 2 games here. His opponent for this one is going to be SCA PandaBear, another Zerg player down here in the bottom right-hand side of the map, with Quonzar obviously spawning up here on the top left. ZVZ is going to be pretty interesting for me to watch. I haven't really seen too many of them since Heart of the Swarm's come out, but the few that I have taken a look at seem to be almost going back to the original Wings of Liberty for the first year or so, where it was kind of roach fighting into a bit of Mutalisk fighting, where your Mutalisk count really determines what's going to win. The Infestors, as a hard counter to Mutalisk, are weakened a little bit because of the fact that it has to be a projectile now, and the Mutalisk speed has really come up a lot. So it's harder to kind of chain lock them down or really grab a hold of them in the first place, given that the speed is increased and they can regenerate when out of combat. So it's less of a devastating thing to have Infestors counter them. But it is still a matter of kind of getting ahead, getting that leg up until you can get to that type of technology, and all the other options haven't really been explored yet. And I expect people's skill levels with the projectile shot to increase over time, so people are going to get better again at countering that with the Infestor, I think, over time. So I don't really know how that's going to develop in the long run. We can see both players going for the spawning pool first, and the timing very similar on those, only a few seconds apart, and again a few seconds apart when it comes to throwing down the expansion out there as well. We'll see a bit of a mirror build for the time being at least, although yeah, even then, like 10 seconds apart when it comes to the queen, and same drone count, and so on there. I think this is going to be a bit of the standard thing to do in ZVZ, just kind of playing it safe and trying to get the advantage a little bit later on in the game, not as much going for quick pools or anything quite at this point. I find there's a general sense that people aren't being as aggressive in Heart of the Swarm right now, unless they're doing something fairly gimmicky involving new units. A lot of early game for Zerg hasn't really changed a lot, or at least there shouldn't be much of a change, but it does, of course, trickle down the chain since you are going to be building different things later on, and since the intention, I believe, is probably to get to some Mutalisks at this point, you're going to be a little more economically focused to try and kind of get there. Speed is a fair bit quicker for our SCA player PandaBear, and he does have the lings streaming across the map. Of course, Overlord's picking up that is coming, so Quonzar is aware that this is on the way, and I believe has 8 lings coming out. Obviously, the queen there, he's going to get up, see that there's not really a lot he can do, but just kind of poking at the front, getting a sense what's going on, and obviously forcing those units to actually come out, forcing this spine crawler to go down just in case, since he doesn't really know what is behind that. Obviously, you've got to be a little safe there. If he caught him kind of skimping on that, then he'd get a big advantage, and the speed being done allows him to come in here, get the full scout, see that it is Baneling Nest technology behind this, as opposed to, say, a quick Roach Warren or anything that is following this, and sees that there's only ultimately one gas going on here. A lot of lings out now for PandaBear, actually starting to make trouble for Quonzar, getting us around on the few lings here. More are popping out, and I think he will eventually be able to clean this up, as there's not a whole stream coming by for PandaBear, but getting a lot of damage done here. Certainly a lot more than I expected when this started, but getting at least one queen kill, a few drone kills, and clearing off a lot of the lings. These ones are pretty much going to run around and just be annoying, try and prevent this mining from continuing in the main base, instead pushing them to the natural. A couple banelings out for Quonzar. One of them does make an inefficient trade there, but this does get picked off, so does the second one there. And he does stabilize and become okay behind this, but we see Panda with a little bit of a drone advantage, but no lings out onto the map anymore, while there are 23 out for Quonzar at this point. So he's going to take a look and see what it can get done in terms of a counterattack. Only 6 lings now there. Queen blocking the ramp. Baneling that's also out with 2 more morphing in behind the mineral line here. He's just going to try and hold him back and see if these banelings can ultimately save him. But we've got our own warping in, morphing in for Quonzar that are going to come in and see what they can get done here. This feels like a really dangerous spot for PandaBear at the moment. He's trying to connect. Oh, a really, really big connect there on those lings. I feel that is a big saving shot to get that done. That could have been a lot worse, but he did manage to deal with those quite efficiently. And these banelings coming in for Quonzar didn't really get a lot done there. So no drone kills, and now the drone count for PandaBear is quite a bit bigger. He's pretty happy with himself, realizes that he got away there without really taking any damage at all. No economic damage to that. And it really, a lot of that came to that baneling hit out here at the bottom of the ramp, getting a lot of lings unintentionally engaging that one baneling for a very large hit, which I think saved him from getting overrun a fair bit. I don't think it was a game-ending situation, but it could have put him back economically, and he could have been kind of held hostage a bit there at the natural for quite a bit longer than he was, but that one blast really took care of it, and the banelings coming in after didn't get a lot done. And the counterattack coming here, one baneling again connecting on a lot of lings and just clearing them out. These again will be pushed back, but very cost efficient there, I think, for PandaBear, and the fact that he's able to just drone up behind that while Quonzar was forced into more ling production to make sure that he had enough to defend against that counterattack. Got this group of lings kind of splitting off, just wants to be in the area to see whether or not a third is going down and when that is going to go down. Running around various areas, defending his own third that is being planted, so he will be a base up soon without a third being planted for Quonzar at this point. A couple banelings morphing in near the natural, but I don't know if they will entirely get up. Just outnumbered here, running around, may try and lure them back to the banelings being morphed, but kind of gets boxed out. See if he can come in with a good connect there. Pretty good cost-efficient connect, and does push that back, but this is not really getting anything done. The well-played call by Panda, as he realized he was actually lured into that area to cause the ling count to swing back the other way. They're just kind of running around doing all kinds of garbage maneuvering, things like that. It really comes down to just kind of pulling them in to the individual banelings, as you can't really engage as those do approach. No baneling speed, I think, for either player at this point. We do have the Spire up with some muta production beginning for Quonzar, as I thought we might see. On the other end of it, we've also got the Spire up, pretty similar in states that they're currently at, but we do have a third base on for PandaBear at this point with 2 gases going down, and I think that may make the difference in the long run. We've also got a lot of banelings out just kind of in front of the bases, trying to make sure that there's not going to be any ling run bys or anything. Both going for the Carapace upgrade as opposed to the attacking upgrade, obviously, to make sure that the Mutalisks are a bit more durable when dealing with the other mutas, as well as the queens that are going to be doing some damage. There's often some debate about that in most of the matchups. When you're playing the other two races, you're going to go for the attack because it improves on each of the glaive bounces. But in a muta versus muta fight, you're more concerned actually about saving the damage versus each of the glaive bounces. Since you know that the attacks they're going to be using against you are also bouncing, you're going to get that +1 armor on every defense against it, and that can make a lot of difference in terms of the durability of your own Mutalisks and how quickly they're going to die. So you do see players going for that a little earlier. And we're going to have +1 armor done for PandaBear a little bit quicker, but I don't know whether he's going to get to engage at all in that window. He's going to have about 25 seconds, 27 seconds where he could engage, but we are just pulling back at this point. The muta counts fairly even here at this point. We got 10 to 14 for Quonzar. Quonzar with the number advantage, but not quite. The tech done probably is done any second and is now the Carapace upgrade. Superior numbers coming in, so PandaBear not looking to attack until he does get these extra few out. Now 15 to 17. It's going to be a balance of that, but the extra economy is up for PandaBear. And as these numbers begin to accumulate, Quonzar just has no way to poke in here. The drone counts are the same, but there's an extra hatchery producing extra larvae. He's going to have extra source of gas for this, so he's going to have a lot of that continuation, the ability to just kind of continue with this mass muta production. And we do see Quonzar realizing that, hey, I've got to throw down an infestation pit. I'm going to lose if I just try and match him muta for muta, and kind of getting caught here in a point that just getting harassed, can't really turn around, stuck between that and the spore crawlers. Definitely doesn't want to engage here. And PandaBear, I believe, with the offensive GG. So a little BM there, but I think he does realize he is ahead in this. Kind of odd given how mannered he's been throughout the rest of this game, but I think you do hit a point where you realize that you've got that advantage by a fair bit. In this case, obviously, like 16 mutas ahead of this. And it's going to be a little while before there's a significant number of infestors out, enough to counter this, and he can just go in, make the attack, and as soon as it does occur, Quonzar realizes, yeah, the GG is correct. So a little BM out of PandaBear. Again, odd, since he was so nice throughout the beginning of that game, even saying well played on one occasion, but does push in, and there's just no infestors out there in order to deal with this, and the muta count has been pushed down. So 3-2 in favor of SCA at this point, and we are going into Game 6.